Hi everyone, this is Shirley from Shirley's World. Isn't this a beautiful photo of a barn owl? This is what reminded me of my earlier painting days. This is a photograph, but I used to paint wildlife, all kinds of wildlife. Hi Barrett, thanks for joining me. I'm going to flip the camera here. I think that was when I saw it online, it just really jumped out at me. Hi, I'll put you in my holder here so I can talk. I don't have my other lens on, so we have to do with this. Yeah, I used to paint, and I love watching Amanda Oleander and her painting. My painting was very realistic, but I love her animals, her paints, her painting style. She has a real style, and I really enjoy it. I don't know how she gets so much done, and scope too. She's young, she's organized, what can I say? But that picture of the barn owl just reminded me of my days when I painted. I was in the little town we were in, is Parma, Ohio, and I was in the Parma Art League for many years, and I painted all wildlife. I'm talking about birds, animals, all kinds of things. I never got into painting domestic animals for some reason. I don't know why. I just never thought of doing that, but I painted all kinds of birds, and I painted owls and geese and ducks and that type of thing. And then I painted things like raccoons and possums and big cats and oh dear, I can't even remember all the things that I painted. But we used to have shows, and I was asked to be in a few juried shows. I sold most of my work because I hardly have anything left. I gave a couple things to my daughter, but I don't have much left of my own paintings, which I'm sorry for. I should have saved more. I do have photographs that I took of shows and things that I was in. But I just wanted to come on here, and I'm having coffee, and this picture that I saw online just made me think of that. I know I should get back into painting. The most artistic thing that I do now is I do Zentangle, if you know what that is. I enjoy that because it's so relaxing. And about a year ago, I bought one of those adult coloring books, which is designs, sort of type of Zentangle, but it's already, a pattern is already there on the page, and you just color. I always love to color. And one of my biggest loves is the smell of Crayola crayons. You know, when you open the box, I just breathe in that smell of those crayons. I know it's nuts, but my sister loves it too, so it must be a family thing. So I do like to color. It's relaxing. That's what, it's a stress reliever. And your mind just goes on to that, just like in painting. You don't think of anything else, and it releases you from your worries and stresses, so it's a good thing. And Zentangle, you even have to be more, I think, more concentrated on it. I don't have any of my Zentangles in this room. They're in the other room, but maybe I'll show you some next time. I have a couple. So I did bring over, since this was a barn owl, I have one painting left of my barn owls that I'll show you. This is one I did. I wish I would have put dates on them, because I have a tag on the back. It was when I was married the first time to the kid's father before he passed, and I got divorced and then he passed. But that's my barn owl picture, and I liked it, so I saved it. This would probably be better if I showed it with my camera the other way. Let me see if I can do that without getting too much reflection. I'm going to flip this over like this. There. That's my barn owls. My name used to be Zeslak, which was my first husband's name. It's my kid's name now. But I just love this picture, so I kept it for myself. And I have one other picture in this room. A lot of my pictures I saved, I did, flipping again, don't get dizzy. I did small little miniature pictures, and this is one of a wood duck. This is done on stone, and I like that a lot, so I kept that one too. But I know I did very realistic paintings, but I like other type of paintings too. That's about all. I have a couple more things in other rooms, but that's about all I have left. I didn't save much of my, you know, you never think when you're younger and that, and you're doing all these paintings and selling them, you don't think about keeping ones for yourself. I'm glad I kept those two for sure. Does anybody else have any hobbies that they used to have when they were younger and they've given up? I'd like to try painting again. I think the reason I haven't is there's always that fear of failure. I'm sort of afraid that I can't do it anymore, which is silly. I mean, if I did it enough, it would come back to me, I'm sure. I don't have any of my equipment, any of my paints or anything, of course, left. But like I said, I do color and Zentangle, so that's what I do. I don't know if I have any more pictures on my blog. I may. I've been blogging since 2009, so heaven knows. I haven't looked back on there to see if there's anything on there. But I'd love for you to come visit my blog. I have a blog called Shirley's World .blogspot.com. If you come and visit, leave me a comment so I know you've been there. And I don't really have a business to promote, so I promote my blog. That's what I do. And as far as having something to tell you about this morning, I don't. I just came on when I was doing my coffee, having my coffee in my bird mug. My sister got me this. A chickadee. I have plenty of chickadees on my bird feeders. The other day there were chickadees and tufted titmice just fighting over the seed. And a chipmunk filling his little jowls, filling his cheeks. He had great big fat cheeks. So, yeah. I didn't fill the bird feeders during the summer, but they're being all filled now for the last few weeks since it started to get cold in the fall. And the problem is that my dogs love bird seed. They go to the bottom, the bird seed spills out on the ground, and they've actually dug holes under my bird feeders, trying to get to the bird seed. And a little bit won't hurt them, but you know, if they eat a huge amount of bird seed, it, like any other seed, since I am doing sprouting now with my lentils and things, they will sprout, and that would be bad in their belly. I mean, things, you know, when they get wet, they swell up. Of course, everything's wet out there now. They've probably swollen as much as they can swell. But I try to keep them away from the bird seed, but it's almost impossible if you let your dogs out to run. They eventually end up under the bird feeders. So I try to watch and get them in at that point. Let's see. I don't have much to talk about today. I know this isn't a way to make visitors. But I'll be on later. I will think of something that's good to talk about that maybe somebody would want to listen to. Tips. They always seem to like tips or things about my dogs or chickens. And so anyway, this was just a short scope to talk about my... Oh, yes. I am going to start scoping my I don't know if I'll make them nightly, probably not nightly, but I'll make maybe a certain day where I do my nursing stories. I have lots of nursing stories, and there are a few ER nurses that are friends of mine on here, and I mean through Periscope, and they encouraged me to tell my stories. So like I say, some are funny, some are gross, and some are just sad. But I'll try to mix them up, and they're all interesting, especially to nurses. So calling all nurses, I'm going to be starting this week. Maybe I'll do the first one this evening. I didn't know whether to start back like chronologically and start back to like when I was in nurses training, like eons ago, and there are a couple stories from that, and then just go to when I was a nurse on the floor, and then when I was a nurse. Most of my stories are from the emergency room. I was an ER nurse, so anyway, I'll start them maybe tonight. I'll get one ready and start. So I don't want to do them all at once, so I have to just do one and talk about it and keep myself from going on and telling a whole bunch, or I'm going to run out of stories because I only remembered so many. I had a head injury on when I lost my eye, a golf course incident. I was hit directly by a golf ball off the tee and lost my right eye and had a head injury, closed head injury. So there are lots of things that I don't remember, and the saddest part is I don't remember a lot of my children's childhood. It'll come back to me if someone reminds me of something, and then I'll remember it. But to go back and just remember, pull up things to remember, I just don't, and that's a sad part about that. But I didn't get killed. I did lose my eye, but I don't even notice that anymore, so I'll tell you about that sometime too. I'm trying to do things not to talk about myself, because that's what they say about Periscope. Give people content. Don't talk about yourself. That's all I have to talk about, really. That's probably not true. If I do research and really plan these things out, which I don't seem to do, I just come on and ramble. But I'm going to, I'll try to do better. I really will. So, I'm waiting for, I've been following Dr. Christine Kazmar. She's the digestion doctor. I have a lot of problems in that area. I've had surgery and everything else, but I'm going to, the medical doctors don't seem to, my medical doctors don't seem to have cured all my problems. So I'm going to try. The things that she's saying make so much sense. So I sent her for her scope test kit, and it's supposed to arrive today, I think. Today or tomorrow. So anyway, I'll let you know how that goes. So I'm going to say bye for now, and I'll be on later. Later with a nursing story. I can't tell you what time, probably in the afternoon, because if I wait till evening, I just don't do it. So I'll try later in the afternoon. So look for me, and I'll see you then.